XRP chart analysts are buzzing with bold predictions, with many convinced XRP could soar close to $30.00 this market cycle. One particularly well-known analyst is even forecasting a $29.00 surge this summer, claiming July could bring some explosive price action for XRP enthusiasts. But let's talk about that age-old saying in the crypto world, sell in May and go away. If you hang around social media, you've probably heard it. The idea is simple. Summer tends to slow down. People head off on vacation, markets lose their spark, and volatility takes a backseat. It's why the saying exists. But this summer might just prove to be anything but typical for XRP. I got some data you'll definitely want to see. Turns out the end of a bull cycle can bring some surprises. Historically, summers during these times are anything but boring. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this, because if history really does have a habit of repeating itself, this summer could be a lot more exciting than the snooze fest we had last year. Fireworks might just be on the horizon. Let me explain. But before we dive in, let me make this crystal clear. I'm not a financial expert. I'm not giving financial advice, and you absolutely shouldn't make any buy or sell decisions based on what I say. I'm just a crypto enthusiast who loves geeking out over this stuff and sharing it with you on YouTube for fun, not fortune. Check this out. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard featuring a Bitcoin USD chart. Sure, it's just Bitcoin here, but let's be real, the entire crypto market tends to move together. You could easily imagine this chart representing the top 125 coins in the asset class. But hey, Bitcoin works, so let's roll with it. Here's what he wrote. A bullish summer. History doesn't repeat, but wow, does it rhyme? Every bull cycle summer is bullish. If that holds true, the next leg is near. Above $108,000, Bitcoin could soar. Straight to $120,000. Strap in. Things are about to get interesting. Once we hit 18K, the next leap could take us straight to a new all-time high of $120,000. See this box here? That's where we're heading. Right now, we're sitting right at the end of this yellow line, on the edge of a potentially massive breakout. Think back 4 years. Why? Because cycles are called cycles for a reason. They repeat. What happened in the summer 4 years ago, Bitcoin skyrocketed. The summer wasn't dull, it was explosive. 2021 showed us how exciting summer can be, and history might just repeat itself. What about the 4 years before that? In summer 2017, same story. Bitcoin was soaring. The fourth year of the cycle is always the game changer, the one where you get that explosive, parabolic blow off top. Guess what? That's exactly where we are now in 2025. Historically, summer in the fourth year has been all about rockets, straight to the moon. Sell in May, go away. If history's any guide, that's a bad call, because as they say, history doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. As he highlights here, the answer is a resounding yes. Another clear example comes to mind, not related to summer, but think back to how stagnant things were in the month or two leading up to the election. Remember the data I kept sharing? It showed that markets often heat up after elections because uncertainty is what really slows things down. It doesn't matter whether people like the election results or not, or whether the new president is loved or loathed. Once the outcome is known, adjustments can be made, decisions move forward, and capital starts flowing again. I shared data last November, right before the election, showing that if history repeats itself, the post-election period is when the gears start turning again. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I think this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Maybe it'll take off right away, or perhaps it'll need a few weeks to build momentum. Either way, the signs are all there. And wouldn't you know it, it actually did take off. History has a funny way of repeating itself, doesn't it? That's why this deserves your attention. Nothing's guaranteed, of course, but odds are all we've got to work with. And right now, the odds are lining up exactly as you'd hope. Everything is set, perfectly timed, just waiting for the spark. Sure, maybe we'll have to hold out until summer's end when everyone returns from vacation and things ramp up again. But let's be real. Doesn't this feel exciting? At the very least, isn't it absolutely intriguing? I'd say so, wouldn't you? Here's an intriguing post from Chart Animals. Mustaches, hashtags, and the endless cycle of altcoins. They're calling it a repeat of the 2017 alt season, only this time bigger. This ETH/BTC chart has me excited because, let's be real, 2017 was absolutely life-changing. Sure, 2021 had its moments, but 2017, that was pure chaos, the wild kind that leaves a mark. So if the next cycle mirrors anything close to that, count me in. Yes, please. Now, onto a post from chart analyst Greg Crypto. I set the stage for this because, well, his words hit differently. He's looking at an XRP/USD chart, boldly declaring, XRP in July, we shall fly so high. And honestly, He might be onto something. That timeline could make sense for so many reasons. Here's the exciting part. He's predicting a major breakout, expecting XRP to skyrocket soon. He's confident there's a solid chance we'll see some explosive price action this summer. One key level he highlighted, XRP hitting $12.00 first, then potentially soaring even higher to $29.00. Imagine July heating up with XRP reaching $29.00. What a wild ride that would be. Summers can definitely bring surprises like this in the crypto world. In fact, the blockchain backer often points out that 2017 had not just one, but two altcoin seasons. While everyone remembers the massive rally at the end of 2017, he argues there was another, more technical alt season earlier that summer. And hey, this was before I even dipped my toes into crypto. I first jumped in back in November 2017, and looking back at the charts, it's clear that was a true alt season. So it's not far-fetched to think XRP could be gearing up for something big this summer. Here's where it gets interesting. In the last two market cycles, XRP followed a striking pattern. It had one massive price surge, then paused, moving sideways for about 6 months, only to explode again with an even bigger move to the upside. You can see it right there in the data. In 2017, the first pop happened in the first half of the year, followed by consolidation. Then by the end of 2017, boom, the second and final peak as clearly labeled on the charts. Fast forward to the next cycle and the story repeats. One major surge, a 6-month pause, and then April 2021, another massive rally. Here we are, folks. Your first big move kicked off last November, and since then, 2025 has been a sideways shuffle. But if we're gearing up for an exciting summer, history suggests XRP could be ready to pop. Look back at the last two cycles. It happened about 6 months apart. So are we due? Maybe. Does it have to play out this way? Not necessarily. But if history loves to rhyme, and it usually does, this would just add more fuel to the fire, right? It all lines up. I'm telling you, the momentum is building. It's coming one way or another. Honestly, I've got zero doubt we're going to see some fireworks in this market cycle. The best is still ahead. I'm convinced of that. It's my belief and I'm sticking to it. Sure, I could be wrong, but I truly feel my perspective is on solid ground. $29.00 as an average target. It's possible, as cited. Do I know for sure? Absolutely not. I don't make price predictions myself. Maybe the more conservative analysts calling for $8.00 to $10.00 are right. But here's the thing, even at those levels, it could be life-changing for so many people. Either way, the final big push is coming. I don't believe this cycle will be any different. And then there's this Bitcoinist, a site that spent years tearing down XRP, now publishing puff pieces. Look at this headline. XRP price could reach $27.00 as the cards fall into place. Crypto analyst Chart Nerd is making waves with a bold prediction. XRP could hit double digits this market cycle. Drawing on Fibonacci levels from past cycles, the analyst suggests the altcoin is primed for a parabolic surge. In fact, an ex-post analysis by Chart Nerd points to a potential rally between $8.00 and $27.00. Exciting, right? So here's the deal. While the range may seem broad, many analysts agree that such a move is entirely within the realm of possibility. And honestly, I'm on board. Crypto history is full of wild, unexpected rallies, and XRP might just be gearing up for its moment in the spotlight. XRP has made big moves before, and even at these higher price levels, there's historical precedent to back it up. Just look at I think that's just look at Ethereum. These kinds of surges aren't just hypothetical. They've happened before and they can absolutely happen again. 100%, no doubt about it. Anyway, let's dive in. The piece highlights how the altcoin recently hit its 1.272 and 1.618 Fibonacci levels. Now, if you're sitting there wondering what Fibonacci is, well, it's not just a fancy Italian restaurant. Though if it were, you should definitely try the veal. These levels are crucial markers for predicting price movements. The analyst noted that the cycle's Fib 1.272 and 1.618 levels point to potential targets of $8.40 and $27.00. I truly believe this idea is grounded in reality, and together we're about to see where it leads. The fact is, no one can predict the future with certainty. That's just the truth. But if we're talking about what's reasonable, what could actually happen, then yes, this feels like a safe bet. I stand by that. Take this post from chart analyst Steph. as crypto, for example. He's calling this the moment where XRP begins its final push upward. According to him, we're in the zone where everything lines up perfectly for a major move. Steph's been forecasting XRP could hit a peak of around $32.00 for some time now, and maybe, just maybe, he's onto something. He's been referencing this in countless posts, and honestly, I'm intrigued. Oh, and credit where it's due, he did nail the XRP breakout this cycle. I know I was one of those relentless voices shouting about it for what felt like forever, months, years, you name it. I always believe in giving credit where it's deserved. Whether you think his predictions are spot on, way off, or somewhere in between, that's your call. And hey, opinions are free. But seriously, he got that one right, at least that. So who knows? Maybe he's onto something again. Time will tell. And if it ends up being lower than expected, I'll still be thrilled, because honestly, even then, it's bound to be a win. I hope you all hit the targets you've been dreaming of, because in my eyes, it's only up from here. It just seems so obvious. But hey, just a friendly reminder, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make buy or sell decisions based on my rambling. That would be a terrible idea.